reporters, we've always relied on leaks. And leaks used to come in photocopy paper, and we were relying on photocopy machines. We also relied on meeting with sources like Deep Throat in the Watergate scandal that we met in a parking lot. We no longer need that. We just need a message like, hello, are you interested in data, and a response. Hacks are everywhere. The data is not only getting to journalists, it's also getting to the internet. So we're living in a new era where leaks are everywhere, and journalists are taking advantage of this. Our response to John Doe was, of course, we're interested in data. And that was the beginning of the biggest leak in journalism history. Let me give you a rundown on what the Panama Papers are. I hope you all know, but just in case. We basically got this leak from an anonymous source that wanted to make the crimes public, the crimes that were being fostered by the offshore secrecy. And in this case, John Doe had obtained 2.6 terabytes of data, 11.5 million files, of a Panamanian law firm called Mossack Fonseca, whose main business was to help clients all around the world create companies in tax havens. So it's something that we had not dealt with before, 2.6 terabytes of data. In journalism, that's a lot of data. You're seeing it compared to the previous leaks we had worked with and with what WikiLeaks had worked with. For us, this was a big technical challenge. The challenge started when these two reporters from German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung received a hard drive with this information, and when they decided not to keep it to themselves, but to share it with us, a small startup based out of Washington, D.C., called the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. The ICIJ is a small journalism startup that also shared it with more than 100 media organizations all around the globe, around 370 journalists in 80 countries working together. We were able to dive into this offshore secrecy thanks to the use of technology and thanks to the use of this distributed workforce that we had around the globe. And we're able to expose how the offshore system worked, how it was being used and abused by the powerful in our societies, how it was being used and abused by politicians like the Prime Minister of Iceland back then, that had an undisclosed account and company in the British Virgin Islands. We only got access to what was the tip of the iceberg, but still managed to affect change across the world by publishing together. We published on April 3rd, this year, all at the same time, in countries all around the globe. And things started happening around the world. People were not happy of being in the Panama Papers. People were, for the first time, knowledgeable about how the offshore economy has a direct effect into our economies back home and into the inequality that the world is living in today. High politicians resigned. The Prime Minister of Iceland resigned. The people of Iceland went to the streets actually asking for his resignation. We have tax agencies around the world looking into evaded taxes. We have governments looking at how can things change. This is a photo from a couple of days ago in the European Parliament, my colleagues talking to the politicians there to try to stop the secrecy that is funneling this system. And I guess the rest will be history, or at least it will be put in a movie. So we'll have to wait for the movie to know more and to know what are the long-lasting effects.